sort of, no idea if you can see me, by the way. I can't see the screen in the sun. I'm trying to get, pretty sure you can hear me at least. I've been doing that, you know. That is my daily practice to just do my best, keep moving in that direction. But I think realizing today and in all honesty, I can see the enormity. Again, I know you know what I'm trying to say. I can see the scale challenges that lie in front of me. And I need to get better. I can see myself now. And I've sort of had a brief idea of what is needed, really, to see me through, to get me through the next 6 months, a year, beyond my own personal good intentions. There's a plan. And in this plan, the best way I can figure out that I'm going to have a chance to sorry, as you can tell, it's the normal with myself. I'm just in a bit of discomfort. The way I'm going to have a chance to get through it in any shape is if I can sort of like take my problems and not view them as I view them, not view them the way I've come to understand life, because it's very personal the way I view it. It's very it's almost like I've delayed as long as possible not to allow my spiritual ideas and beliefs to merge in any way with my psychosis, because I didn't want any trouble there. But my approach to life, to be honest with ourselves, for half, and even then it's a risk. It's always going to create a bigger problem for us down the road. So it's to be honest with ourselves in the present moment, and if we can, you know, if it is a problem, just say, well, this is what I believe. It's not great, but you know, what am I going to do? It's what's in my head or what's in my heart or whatever. So that's the general attitude I take, and with spirituality and with psychosis, they're one and the same, because this world doesn't accept spirituality on the whole. Spirituality is a woo-woo idea, and if you believe in spirituality, there's something a bit wacky about you. And having a serious mental health disorder, I wanted to avoid as many wacky ideas as I could to try and manage my condition as best as possible. But given everything that I always say, all I am is spiritual. Given that I always say all I am is spiritual, for the longest period of time, a few years, stopped all spirituality because I didn't want to, what's the word? I didn't want to heat up my mind with unnecessary things. And I just saw that it wasn't essential. However much I love spirituality, I could take a break from it. And I did that. And it did me good, but as time has progressed, the spirituality has come back. Spirituality, because if I don't, it's just going to become a risk the other way. You know, I'm holding it back too much, and one day I'll go completely start raving mad with spiritual ideas. So instead, I've reverted to a healthier relationship. What it is, it's a case of sorry, I've just sat down from being in pain for quite a while and I'm just catching my breath. What it is a case of I'm looking to take my condition right now, and I'm looking to take all the pressure away from it, and I'm trying to do a similar thing again, but this time it's the removal of the personalization. And the personalization comes where spirituality and my mental health, my psychosis, have finally overlapped. And I've just been honest with myself to say that, right, well, this is the point where I can't deny it either way anymore. It's like spirituality, for all intents and purposes, there's no point in me denying it anymore. I believe it unequivocally that it's true. And if I was to deny myself, as I said, what would happen is like I could do it, but I might be able to lie to myself for a year, 2 years, and then I might see the waters break, the defense barriers in a year or two, and I might have a proper psychotic experience instead of a managed psychotic experience, managed psychotic life. That's what I'm aiming for, something that's managed, something that's a bit more coherent, instead of having detriment happen unexpectedly. Be honest with the severity of how bad things are. And where spirituality and where my mental health finally overlapped, it's a case of I can't deny myself that on a real level, I believe I'm being affected by the collective psychosis. The collective psychosis is just a way of describing the psychotic experience we all share as a collective people. And within that, spirituality is at play. within that spirituality is that, and on a very real level, I believe that for some reason I'm being put through this as some sort of spiritual test, or things are so serious that somewhere along the lines, reality has begun to affect spirituality, and that could be another reason that I'm seeing them overlapping now. But regardless of what's said, from my current perspective, I truly believe that my life, all the disharmony, I take that back. It's not all the disharmony, but all the disharmony in the sense that the rest of society, the rest of the collective psychosis is willing to claim responsibility. So what I'm perceiving is the collective psychosis, which is us, the people, as a collective, wanting to say, look, yeah, Andreas, you're suffering. And I don't know how much I can truly wonder. Sorry, 1 second. I'll be back. I don't know how much I can truly get behind this. And the realization is that I have to. One way or another, life is going to make me. That's what I'm coming to understand. And a sensible way as possible. But the truth is, I have to be on point with any change I make now, because if I do it from experience, in other words, if I let life beat into me whatever lesson it wants to beat into me, for me to eventually turn around and say, yeah, despite your claiming responsibility for my problems, this is the way to be. Because course of events has been natural, and that will always be there as a memory, that will always be there as a lesson. So that's the ultimate way to really learn. That's the way it goes in best. But when things are hard, and when the lesson is hard, you want to be ahead of yourself. You want to try and learn the lesson before you have to. There is possible of risks and everything else, from my perspective, to make an adequate change. Because the lesson that comes from experience is unlike no other, and you have to be in a very special place to find the lesson, to find the means to get the same sort of rewards, or to learn the lesson a different way yourself. And all I can see is that, in honesty, this is what I perceive as reality, that you're all willing to take my problems on your shoulders in terms of claiming responsibility from it. You're saying, in my eyes, looking at the world, it's like I have the rest of society, I have the rest of the people turning around and saying to me, Andreas, that problem that you've got that ruins your life is us. That problem you've got that ruins your life is us. That problem you've got that ruins your life is us. And that's fine. because... Well, one second, I'll just get a lighter, if that's okay. If I have one. Right now I'm weak. I'm weak because of my physical health. And I'm right now, in turn, I'm weak in terms of my mental health. But whereas before I was almost willing to cast you all away for the atrocities that you've done to have treated me, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Not because I'm being arrogant in any way, because from my perspective, what I've been put through is justified I behave this way. I'm being as sort of more courteous end of the spectrum rather than, you know, being arrogant to my experience and replying out to life to my in terms of what I've experienced. But even so, what I'm being asked to do right now, I think, if I just look at my... take a step back and say to myself, well, look, in not too much time, I've been flawed, I've been KO'd. And when I'm KO'd, I can carry on in the same tone. I can carry on in the same... Well, I can't carry on in the same tone. When I'm so weak, I can't keep a tone of anger or resentment towards the man in the shop for no reason, because life has been hard to me and you'll want to take responsibility for it. No, I can't do that. Whereas otherwise I would. I mean, it's almost like a passive aggressiveness. That's the tone I've had to take to life, and I resent everybody. But there I am because of my physical weakness, and I'm going into those same situations, and I'm getting, in terms of what I would have found disrespectful before, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me at present from people. Very subtly. That is huge in terms of implications of beating that I'm getting from people. It's very huge. It's very subtle how it comes into what it means is it has huge implications, and I'm not kidding myself there, but at the same time I'm in those same environments and I'm not able to hold that tone, because what's most important is just getting my dinner in that moment. And I could go to the extreme and say, how dare they, you know, and oh, it's just another one, I'm going to walk out of this shop. But when you're in physical pain, you've got to look after your physical body, and you've got to think about eating and nutrition and these things. And that was just to give you an example to say that I'm realising that no matter the fact that I feel like I'm being appropriate to life and what life has given me, it's not realistic to believe that I live in this world with everybody else, and I'm going to keep a chip on my shoulder alone to the world, living next to the world, alongside the world, with the world, for all of eternity. So there's a realization that things are likely to have to change. And I'm not holding to anything. I just want a peaceful life as much as possible. And all it is to say is that the realization I'm having, I think, is that I'm going to have to remove that personalization from, because it's causing me the most problems. If I can stay calm to that, I have a chance of dealing with my mental health problems. It's like, for instance, I've analysed one or two elements of my physical health that I believe is antagonised by some sort of spiritual force or my mental health. And when I believe it's being antagonised, it makes that circumstance that much harder to deal with, because beyond it being this impersonal, really challenging thing, I've got this massive personal and massive personal vendetta against me for some unbeknown reason. And it's overwhelming to deal with that situation in the moment, given that. It's like bumping your toe and you're really having to hold your breath and tense and deal with that pain whatever way you can. And then all of a sudden, you put in the same place where you bump your toe, and then you've got this person that's forever there with you, that's taking the piss out of you for bumping your toe and laughing at you. And the way you're just trying to focus, to the pain, they're pulling your ear and they're doing all of these things, and you're just like, leave me to deal with the pain of the bumped toe. So that's what I'm thinking is going to be the likely situation is to somehow try and remove that personalization, but I don't know how, because it's what I believe in absolute truth. But yeah, that's my thinking. I need to make changes. I can't carry on in this world anymore. And it might be a case of looking at it realistically, saying that, one, I'm either a slave and it's time for Stockholm Syndrome. It's time for me to say, whatever problems I had with my oppressors, it's time to just surrender and call it quits for the matter of sanity to myself. There's all point in having teeth to life, but what's the point of having teeth to life if you don't have life or a mind in the first place? I'm sure those teeth will soon get lost. And it's that sort of mentality. I'm going to have to find another working relationship with my oppressors. Realise for all belief, even if it is personal, even if some strange psychotic storyline that's going around in my head that justifies why, it would be personal to me and not another. These struggles. It's a case of realising that I'm not special, even if they're personal to me, and it's to say that this is just my role within the collective psychosis, and my role is to suffer this way and to have ease this way. For another, it would be to suffer another way and to have ease another way. And I guess where that leaves me there going forward is to calm my hatred to society and hatred to this world and hatred to the system for its injustice. To realise that right now, from my perspective, and this is me just creating like a truthful storyline to my existing life that I can implement with enough hope that it makes positive change or some change, and then I can readjust down the road. But for now, that's what I'm thinking. It's a case of we all suffer and we all have luxury in different places. And the world is unjust to a sickening extent. But it's to be honest with myself and say, right now I'm ill. And right now I can see the truth. And right now I'm petrified about what the pandemic and everything else really means to us as a collective species by our collective oppressors. Because I don't trust these sort of things, if I'm honest. The world's fucked up, man. We've been fucked over how many times? And the whole world just got shut the fuck down. In my head, it's like, it's a sign in lights to say, look, this is a problem. There's something serious going on here. Be alert. I think I'm going to have to calm my mind to that. So, as much as I feel in danger, absolutely, truly in danger by what's going on a global level, all the injustice worldwide, I think I need to calm my mind to it. So if I calm my mind to that, and then I take the more balanced approach perspective to at least from myself and anybody else who's likely to watch this ever on YouTube, who's in some stable surroundings. In other words, you've got a computer and the fucking internet, man. Alright, maybe in 10 years when everybody has the computer and the fucking internet and we're all flying in our fucking hoverboards with our VR glasses around London and the rest of the world. But until then, we're a privileged bunch. So in terms of us, that's how it's viewed, really. We all suffer in different ways. We all have ease in different ways. And I'll have to pick up on the world somehow, and I'll figure this out by myself. But what I'll need in addition to that is some global perspective, and that is to say, right, well, where I feel at present really impelled to have a global perspective, one for my own security and safety, and another for the safety of all others, is to somehow keep it in mind without needing to feel any pressure, anything, or think anything in that direction. And I think with all of that mixture, I can sort of look at getting my life on some sort of track. At least there's a possibility of that. So that's what I'm at. Thank you for all those who I've got somewhere with it. Thank you.